Sussex's £112 million reality show falls out. Harry mental breakdown over his resignation letter to Netflix. If Prince Harry isn't writing his resignation letter to Netflix at this very moment after the international release of the revolting Diana musical, then he is a man devoid of morals. Former butler Paul Burrell claims Harry and Meghan are putting money ahead of loyalty after a controversial Diana musical airs on Netflix, the company with which they signed a multi-million-dollar deal. It's just over a year since it emerged Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had signed a huge £112 million deal with Netflix, causing panic at the palace about what was to come. And eyebrows were raised last week when the platform aired Diana, the musical, a Broadway show depicting the story of the late Princess Diana. The show focuses on the love triangle between Diana, Prince Charles, and Camilla Parker Bowles, and has been criticized for being insensitive and crass, with hysterically awful lyrics. One online user wrote, "This musical is a complete insult to the Queen and Princess Diana's memory." Fans and skeptics alike were eager to point out that Diana's son Harry's employers had commissioned the biographical presentation. Columnist Dan Wootton wrote, "If Prince Harry isn't writing his resignation letter to Netflix at this very moment after the international release of the revolting Diana musical, then he is a man devoid of morals." It's not the first time Netflix has aired TV shows about Diana's life. Season 4 of The Crown, which premiered earlier this year, depicted her teenage years, as well as her ascension into the royal family and her unfortunate marriage to Prince Charles. Last week, pictures emerged of Elizabeth Debicki, who plays Diana, filming scenes in Spain for the 5th series. A documentary called Diana, in her own words, also aired on the streaming service last year. And, showing how Diana's popularity seems to be at an all-time high, Hollywood movie Spencer, starring Kristen Stewart, premiered earlier this month, too. Now, Diana's former butler, who worked at both Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace for a decade, says the couple's affiliation with Netflix is evidence they're exploiting their royal connection. Paul, 63, says, "The world is just as, if not more, fascinated by and adoring of Diana as when she was alive. The interest in her has skyrocketed in recent years. When Harry and Meghan made their Netflix deal, it was already streaming The Crown. While the show had not yet entered Diana's era, I'm sure they were both sharp enough to realize it would eventually cover her life. Harry's always insisted he's sensitive about his mother's portrayal on the world stage, but clearly didn't mind that his employers would be exploiting her life in one of their shows. They appear to be turning a blind eye to the Diana musical, which just adds to the impression that Harry and Meghan are cashing in on Diana and their royal connection. Presumably, they won't cut ties with Netflix because of it, because they thrive off the interest in Diana. It's what makes them bankable. Harry and Meghan knew who they were getting into bed with when they signed that deal. It was too much money to say no to." Since the couple moved to the United States last year, the schism between Harry and Meghan and the royal family, particularly Prince William, has grown wider, following their shocking tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey in which they accused the royal family of racism and mental health neglect. Meghan also called out her sister-in-law Kate Middleton for making her cry before her wedding. Harry went on to criticize his royal upbringing and his father's parenting, saying in a podcast he felt trapped and was encouraged to keep quiet about his mental health struggles in his teens and 20s. Last month, eagle-eyed fans spotted a wire hanging out of Harry's trousers while the couple were on a visit to New York, sparking rumors they were filming their mini-tour for a potential Netflix show. Harry and Meghan have also been commissioned to write 4 books for publishing giant Penguin Random House, the first of which is said to be a memoir by Harry, out next autumn. And Paul says there'll no doubt be more bombshells.